What follows are some photos of my visit to Plum Village in southern France in June 2023. I was there for a week-long retreat. Plum Village is a monastery established by Vietnamese Zen Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. I traveled by rail from Paris to Bordeaux, and then from Bordeaux to Saint-Foy-le-Grand, and then taken by shuttle to Plum Village. This is the train station at Saint-Foy-le-Grand. Plum Village is divided into 3 hamlets. The red markers on the middle right side of this map show the upper hamlet and the lower hamlet, and the red marker on the lower left shows the new hamlet. Monks live in the upper hamlet, and nuns live in the lower and new hamlets. This map shows the layout of the upper hamlet, where I stayed and where most activities of the retreat took place. This is the dining hall with the kitchen toward the back. This is the Transformation Meditation Hall on the left, and the stone building on the right is where a lot of the office work takes place. This is the bamboo building where some of the guests stay. This pavilion is the tea house, and another view of the bamboo building. A view of the main meditation hall through the trees. This is the camping area where I stayed. You can see tents under the trees in the background. A series of trails between the main meditation hall and the monastic area. You can see a lotus pond in the background. A view of the big meditation hall showing the main entrance. The pagoda here contains a large bell which is invited early every morning and for various other events. Whenever any bell is sounded in Plum Village, you're encouraged to stop and notice your breathing and appreciate the present moment. Here's the altar in the big meditation hall. If you look through the window to the outside, you can see this Buddha, which is beyond the window. And this is an altar commemorating Thich Nhat Hanh, or Thai, as he's affectionately called. Thai simply means teacher. This is the opposite end of the meditation hall at the main entrance. And the stained glass at the top has the word smriti, which means what is remembered, samadhi, which means concentration, and prajna, which means wisdom or understanding. This is a temple drum, which is sounded for special occasions, and also the temple bell or gong, which is invited at the beginning and ending of meditation sessions and other occasions. Here's another drum. And another bell, a smaller version of the large bell outside in the pagoda. This one is used for special occasions as well. This is a lavender plant in full bloom. This is the entrance to the Sitting Still Hut, which is where Thich Nhat Hanh stayed when he was at the monastery. Here are a couple of views of the deck of the Sitting Still Hut. And the podcast, The Way Out Is In, is recorded there, and that's done by the abbot of the monastery, which is now Brother Phappu, along with Joe Confino. This pathway leads to the monastic area where the monks stay. There are a few yurts on the land, and this is one of those. This is Nigella, I know what that is because I've grown it before. It's also called Love in a Mist. Seed pods, says a nigella. This is a trail through the forest below the camping and monastic area. And this is Buddha Hill, where this series of Buddhas are placed, and sometimes meditation sessions are done there. This is a document posted in the tea house explaining ahimsa, which is a Sanskrit term meaning minimizing harm, and it shows the progressive, open-minded stance that Plum Village takes towards social issues. There's also an organization, ahimsatrust.org, which continues Thich Nhat Hanh's work in India. These are a couple of signs on some of the restroom doors that I enjoyed. This is a beautiful hypericum shrub that was in full bloom. I'm not sure which species. And these are red calla lilies. This is another document posted in the tea house that I encourage you to pause and read. The practice centers were already vegetarian, as are many monasteries in the Far East, but as of 2007, Thich Nhat Hanh instituted a vegan diet for all of the practice centers throughout the world. This letter demonstrates his depth of understanding about how much the biosphere of the planet is damaged by the meat, dairy, and egg industries. And here's a sign that's posted in the dining hall. Ty did a lot of calligraphy, and this is an example that's hanging in the dining hall. This is a basic schedule for the full week of the retreat. These are a couple of examples of daily schedules that were posted on the whiteboard showing the day in more detail. In China and Southeast Asia, there's a tradition of creating miniature landscapes with tiny buildings and figurines. In Vietnam, it's called Hang Nong Bo, and this is a rather simple example of that with a little pagoda on the rock. This is a grove of bamboo growing near the dining hall, and the land here used to be a farm, and you can see some of the original rockwork dating from that era. They grow a lot of organic vegetables at the monastery at an operation they call Happy Farm, and my tinting neighbors were from the Czech Republic. Barbara works in film, and she worked on a film about Happy Farm, and this link shows you how to find that and watch it for free. This is an old farmhouse near where they grow the vegetables. Here we're hiking from the upper to the lower hamlet, and you can see the beautiful French countryside. There were quite a few wildflowers along the way. There was quite a bit of this hypericum, or St. John's wort, growing in the wild, which is a medicinal plant. This is a wild orchid. And approaching the lower hamlet, you can see through the trees this pagoda that has the large bell. This also used to be a farm, and you can see the wonderful rock walls and tiled roofs that are so typical of homes in the French countryside. This is in one of the meditation halls. Sorry, I don't know why this particular photo is so out of focus, but this was a wonderful walking meditation through the forest. And this is a Buddha we passed along the way. A lotus flower growing in the pond. The sisters in the lower hamlet have really beautiful flowers. This is a clematis vine. Now we're at the new hamlet. This is a walkway bordered with flowering lavender. And this is, I would say, at least 13 miles from the upper hamlet and the lower hamlet. And we did take a bus there. This is a question and answer session at the new hamlet with some of the monastics. And included here is Sister True Dedication, who was formerly an English journalist, and she edited and did the commentary for the book Zen and the Art of Saving the Planet. All of the hamlets have these amazing pagodas with the big bells. This is the one at the new hamlet. The plants growing on these mossy rocks are Sedum palmeri, which is native to Mexico, and I have it growing in my garden. So I just thought it was interesting how people spread plants around the world. Here we're doing walking meditation up the hill behind the new hamlet, and there was a little bit of mist off and on, so we do have umbrellas. There are fabulous views across the landscape from there. Here's another daily schedule. We had another excursion to the lower hamlet that day. Another session of walking meditation through the forest. This is a walk to some land they acquired adjacent to the upper hamlet, where they have a rewilding project going on. It's former farmland, and they're allowing it to return to nature. This is blackthorn, which is a common plant mentioned in English literature and poetry, but it grows elsewhere in Europe as well. Here's a photo of Thich Nhat Hanh, who transitioned in January 2022 and who started Plum Village along with Sister Chen Kong. One of Thai's major contributions was to make Buddhism more relevant to the modern era. Besides some of the other things I've mentioned, monks and nuns have equal standing, and yet it's a tradition that extends back into the mists of time. I've captured a few images here from the Plum Village website that were taken during the retreat that I attended. It was basically an earth holder retreat, a particular focus group within the tradition that concentrates upon environmental issues. Besides all that, I feel Plum Village is a wonderful example of a sustainable, collaborative community living close to nature.